Hey, it's Andrew with Freedom Art. Come back to give you Infinity Life Cycle Part 2, Ignored Signals. So, let's just get right into it. Every cycle in life begins quietly. After the foundation, where life appears stable and structured, something subtle begins to occur beneath the surface. The routines of daily life responsibilities are handled, and the structure of life still appears intact. From the outside, very little seems to have changed. But internally, small shifts begin. The Infinity Life Cycle calls this stage ignored signals. Ignored signals are early warnings life presents before cycle begins to move toward chaos. These warnings rarely appear as dramatic events. Instead, they come as subtle changes in behavior, thought patterns, and habits and relationships. At first, they're easy to overlook. A person may begin feeling a quiet restlessness that they cannot fully explain. Something inside of them feels unsettled, even though the external structure of their life still appears stable. The mind begins searching for stimulation, escape, or excitement to feel the quiet discomfort. Sometimes these signals appear as new habits forming that were not present before. A drink becomes two. A risk that once seemed unnecessary begins to feel exciting. A decision that one would have been questioned suddenly feels justified. Starting to slip a little bit, are we? The shift is gradual because the change is gradual. It rarely triggers immediate concern. The person experiencing these changes often rationalizes them as temporary adjustments or harmless choices. After all, the foundation of life still appears stable. But the signals continue to accumulate. Relationships may begin changing in ways that are difficult to describe. Conversations feel different. Emotional distance may quietly grow between people who once felt connected. Instead of confronting these changes, many people avoid them because doing so would require difficult conversations or uncomfortable honesty. Avoidance becomes easier than awareness. The Infinity Life Cycle recognizes that this stage is defined by the presence of problems. It is defined by the lack of attention given to the signals that problems may be forming. During the phase, the mind begins developing the ability to justify behaviors that previously would have raised concern. Small risks are explained away. Emotional discomfort is numbed through distractions. Decisions that once required careful thought are made more impulsively. The person may still believe they are fully in control of their life. This belief comes from one of the most powerful illusions within the cycle. Because life still appears stable from the outside, the individual convinces himself that the signals are insignificant. The routines of daily life continue, and the foundation built during the previous phase still seems strong. But foundations weaken quietly before they collapse. The subtle signals that appear during this stage are often the earliest indicators that the cycle is beginning to shift. If a person were to pause long enough to examine these signals, honestly, the direction of the cycle could change. Awareness has the power to redirect the path, but awareness requires something many people resist: honest self-reflection. To acknowledge these signals would mean admitting that something inside their life is changing. It would require asking difficult questions about habits, choices, and relationships. For many people, it feels easier to continue moving forward without examining the deeper patterns forming beneath their actions. So the signals continue to be ignored. The discomfort grows, and with it grows the desire for stimulation, escape, or intensity. What once felt unnecessary now begins to feel attractive. Risk begins to carry strange sense of excitement. This is the moment when the cycle begins leaning toward the next phase. When ignored, signals accumulate long enough. Life begins accelerating. The stage of that flows ignored signals in some of the movement, adrenaline, and increasing instability. So, that is ignored signals. Now, what I'm going to read next, bring to you guys is another chapter I'm calling, it's not part 3, but it's part of part 2. It's called The Mountain Space. The Adrenaline Life. I'm going to put that in there because, we just, when the stage is ignored, adrenaline starts to be excitement. And even though you don't want to admit life could be boring or whatever's happening, there's a shift in the cycle, spiritually and physically. Life becomes boring. And if you're not aware of the changes that are coming, you could ruin your relationships, or you could ruin just in general stuff around you. Just trying to be more aware of everything. I'm not trying to drag this out on you guys, but I'm Andrew from Freedom Art, trying to make a difference. Live through your heart, love through your heart, and follow me. Join me. Leave a comment. Peace. I love you. Be safe.